Welcome to Pilates at Mesa Community College. Today I have Chrissy and Melissa with me demonstrating the exercises that we will be doing for our mat work practice. So we are beginning in a prone position and we're just going to spend a little time breathing here. Feeling that there is length at the front of the hip, that the back is easy, you're going to practice your lateral ribcage breath. And what I mean by that is when you inhale, you are trying to expand the ribs out to the side edges of the mat so that you make space for those ribs and they don't drive down into the floor beneath you. When you exhale, you'll feel the two sides of the rib cage knitting towards one another as the abdomen pulls up and in towards the spine. Let's go ahead and do that a couple more times. Now we're going to use that movement, that exhalation phase and tensing of the abdominal wall to open the arms out to the sides like you're making a letter T and hover the head. And then bring it on back in as you inhale. And we'll repeat that. If it feels comfortable to you, you can add a bit of hyperextension by lifting the chest away from the mat. If that doesn't feel comfortable to you, go ahead and stay with a slightly lower position. And we'll do this 2 more times. See if you can keep your toes connected to the mat. We'll do 2 more. And on the next one, as you're bringing your arms back underneath you, instead of underneath you, bring them over the corner edges of the mat. Okay, stretch those arms long for me. And from that lengthened position, slightly press through the palms and lift your head so you can look right at the end of your mat. Bringing one leg up away from the mat and then placing that leg back down, we'll go side to side. Alternating sides, trying to keep the front of the hip in contact with the mat, using that exhalation phase. Good. If you're comfortable with this, stick with it. If you feel ready to progress, we are going to alternately pass those legs in an exercise known as swimming. And you're moving at your own pace, which is wonderful. This is not synchronized Pilates, so we want to be able to do these things as they suit us. That's what makes it your practice. Good. If you're feeling extra spunky, you can take the hands away from the floor and let them swim as well. Okay? You may swim slow or fast. Go ahead and relax and gently press yourself back into a rest position. Feel length at the low back. We're going to actually change this slightly. So from here, what I'd like you to do is press your tailbone down through your heels and pull the belly flesh away from the thighs, sort of child's pose meets cat pose. And you should get an extra good stretch in the low back and also the mid back. We'll use this to roll all the way up to a quadruped position, so hands are just slightly forward of the shoulders, pressing through all 10 fingers and into the pads of the hands. The leg closest to the screen is going to extend back and the toes will curl here. Let yourself press gently into a calf stretch. Shift that weight ever so slightly forward, draw the shoulders down the back, and then extend the opposite hand from foot somewhat forward. They're both still on the mat, staggered. This is your first balance challenge, and you can stay with this if this is the best choice for you. We're going to begin to lift and lower that back leg. And if it feels suitable, you'll add the arm lifting as well. The leg is directly out from the hip. The arm is in line with the ear. Good. Eye focus toward the end of the mat. Using your breath, we'll do this twice more. Holding the second one up for me, if you would. So right from that position, you're going to take the foot and just float it outside the edge of the mat and back in line with yourself. The arm can stay up, but if you'd rather place it down with that staggered position, you may do so. And if that still feels like more than enough of a balance challenge, line those hands up, thumb across from the opposite thumb. Now from your center line, we're going to hold that leg back and tap to the other edge of the mat. Reach it back. Foot can go down. So we're reaching behind the opposite thigh. Behind the opposite thigh. Let's go one last time. From here, we'll come down to the forearm. That leg is still back. Take a little bit of a stretch again through the calf musculature. Shift yourself forward, feeling really secure in your positioning. Palms can be down. It could be the sides of the fists. You could bring your hands into a prayer position or a, sort of a tripod position with the arms. Whatever works on you. You're going to float the leg up, find it directly in line with the sit bone, and then we're going to single leg kick on just this side. We have a flex a point and a lengthen of the leg. Flex point, lengthen the leg. And two more. One more. And then let's just take the leg to a bent position with the sole of the foot facing the ceiling. You're going to tap the kneecap to the mat and press the leg back up. Little touch, little lift. Little touch, little lift. Good. Let's do two more of these. And holding that second one up, we'll go right into some small pulses for 10 and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw that leg in. Sit back in your rest position. Allow your hips to slide towards the side you just worked and your arms to reach in long opposition on a diagonal. Bringing yourself right back into center, let's go ahead and come on up into that quadruped position. Second leg extends back. Toes curl under. And you find that stretch first. Pressing gently through the heel. And then shifting forward, feeling length at the back of the neck and staggering your opposite hand. Remember, it can stay there. We'll start with the leg lifting and lowering. Trying to make sure we don't lift so high that the back starts to play into it. Add the opposite arm lifting if that feels doable. And two more. One more, keeping that arm out, keeping that leg out, reaching the leg towards the outside edge of the mat, and then back in line with the sit bone. Good. If you need to lower it a tiny bit, you can do so. And let's go one more time. Hold right in line with the sitting bone and take that foot to the other side of the mat. Can tap the toes down and then bring it back. And we've got just two more. And one more. Holding that leg in line with the sitting bone, you can put the foot down as you walk yourself onto your forearms. And then lift the leg back in line with the hip. and we go right into our single leg kick. So we kick, kick, and reach. Kick, kick, and reach. You got it. Three more. Two more. Last one, let's go ahead and fold that leg again, sole of the foot towards the sky, knee taps down to the mat, and foot returns to where it began. Holding this next one up, let's go with 10 small pulses. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release and sit back. Find your rest position and then slide those hips towards the side you were just working. Hands reach to the opposite diagonal. Bringing yourself right back to center, and we're going to walk all the way out onto the forearms again. We're going to reach both feet back, toes curled, knees are still down, but press your hips forward until you feel like your abs are working. You can stay with this kneeling plank, or you can fully extend those legs. So find the plank that suits you. And then we're going to play with your plank just a little bit. So I'm kind of attached to the sides of the mat today, and so I'm going to ask you to rock one hip towards one side of the mat and then the other to the other side. You may or may not touch down, but you're heading in that direction. We'll go one more time each side, and then we'll take a little moment of rest. Just sink on back. This time we'll walk out to a plank on the hands, curling the toes and lifting the hips actually into the air in a pike position. Relax the neck. Take a moment to just nod a little yes and shake a little no, and then find that place where your head's at ease, bringing yourself flat out to a full plank or as much of a plank as you can. Knees can go down, and then piking back up. Take it at the pace of your breath. Okay, kneeling pike plank works too, and forearms can work as well. So if it's a better option for you to be in this position, take that position. Good. We'll make the next one your last one. We're actually going to press back onto the feet, finding a little standing forward fold with the bend in the knees, looking through those legs. As you feel that you can, lengthen the legs a little, trying to find a bit more stretch. And then allow yourself to curl up, keeping your eye focused through the space between your legs for as long as possible until you arrive at a standing position. And from that standing position, we're going to step out with the leg farthest from the screen. Reach the arms forward, and we'll open out to the side and bring it back in. Open out to the side and bring it back in. We're going to add a little movement in that forward leg. We're going to drop into it as long as you feel that you can keep your heel down. So you might find your back heel lifts, but the front heel stays on the mat. Good. We'll go 2 more times. This is a variation on the exercise known as spine twist. We're going to hold this forward, and right from this forward position, we're going to open the arms out to the side and bend the back knee, reach underneath the forward thigh, and come up tall. Reach under, dip down as low as you can, come up tall. Good. A little variation on single leg stretch. And 2 more here. 1 more here. Right from there, we'll just face forward. Okay? Working into a standing variation of the saw, palms can be forward or down, whatever is comfortable to you. Instead of a straight leg saw, we're actually going to take it as sort of a side lunge. So we'll sit into one hip, reach to the outside of the foot, and come up. And we'll stay on that side. 4, 6 more. Three more. And as you finish this last repetition, we'll go right on over to the other side. Last 2 of these. Last one. And then we'll simply rotate all the way to our second side, bringing those hands together in front of you, scooching that forward foot a little more forward as needed, opening the front arm up and coming back. Getting your rotation going, your breath going. Notice how everything feels, and as you're ready to add, we drop into that forward leg, allowing the back leg to lift as needed. And last 2. Last one, here comes the fun. Open those arms out and drop it on down and bring it up. Good. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And right from here, we'll open back up to the center, but bringing those legs right underneath the sit bones. Peeling one heel up, lowering that heel. Same thing, second side. You want to stay over the first metatarsal and feel that ankle mobility happening. Bring those hands behind the head. Rotate towards the bending knee. If you're feeling extra good about it, you can lift your leg up. And if you're feeling even better about it, you can flex and reach your elbow to the opposite knee. Good. So, standing crisscross. Last 2. Last one. Legs are right underneath you. You're just going to hip hinge forward, knees are soft. Looking right towards the forward edge of your mat, drop your hands and flex your spine so you're rounded, you're in your C curve. You're just in it from a different position. Eyes again are looking through those legs. We're going to take a deep full breath in, sink the tailbone down and stack the spine. When you arrive at the top, you're simply going to take one foot well behind you, bringing your hands to your sacral area, lift up on that heel, press the hips forward, and open your chest and shoulders towards the sky as much as you can. Now, actively press your knuckles towards your back heel. And then step together. Good. Reach your arms around yourself. Look through the space where your elbows come together and actually pull it out a little bit so you're getting a nice stretch between the scapula. And release that, stepping back with the second foot, finding that nice big stretch through the pectoral wall, the front of the shoulders. And once you get there and find your balance, tuck the pelvis under, opening up the front of the hip flexors. And right from there, we'll step together one last time. We're going to take a big breath in. And as you exhale, just say, ah. Excellent. Thank you.